there. My name is Naomi. I graduated in May of 2018. And ever since then, I've been freelancing as a face yoga teacher. I was in a completely different industry. I was in finance, investment banking for a very long time. And then I had just retired because I was for various reasons. And I'm actually going to talk about one thing because it's important about my face yoga journey as well. One of the many reasons I decided to retire is because I did not like who I had become when I hit 40. And you know, when you're young, you have your image of how you're going to be at a certain age. And I had hit 40 and I looked at myself and I self-reflected, and my personality was not who I wanted to be at all. And so I'm not blaming the industry at all. It is my responsibility, but I think the environment really didn't help me and I needed to get out of it. So I decided that I would retire, pack my bags, and go off on my own self-healing journey. And while I was doing that, I had practiced body yoga for a very long time. And I decided to get myself certified in Hatha Vinyasa because I practiced that all the time. While I was going through the YTT, my older sister was like, "You're not that young anymore. How long are you going to be able to teach body yoga, let alone Vinyasa, because it's quite, rigorous?" And she said, "Why don't you try face yoga as well? I know I've seen this person named Fumiko doing this. I'm going to forward it to you." And I was looking at it. And during this time, I was actually, for the first time in my life, I was ending my laser therapy for my face because I was getting a lot of pigmentation on my face. And for the first time, my mom commented that I wasn't looking too great. And I was going through this. It was getting better. But then when I spoke to the guy towards my 10th session, he was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have to buy another package for the pigmentation." I'm like, "But what about my under eye bags? What about the wrinkles that I'm forming?" He's like, "Oh, you'd have to do this, this, and this." I'm like, "How much is this gonna cost me? And how long do I have to do this?" And the answer was a lot of money forever. And I was like, okay, one, I'm not gonna go through the pain. Two, I'm not into vanity for that much. I'd rather spend it on my kids or, donate to dogs or whatever. I'm not going to do that. And so when my sister told me, "Hey, here's face yoga," I was like, okay, maybe I'll give it a try. And that's how I started my face yoga method journey with Fumiko in terms of as a student. I started seeing a lot of benefits and transformations of other women. I was still kind of sort of seeing it, but I was like, there must be an easier way to teach people, or for me, get the results without having to struggle so much with this discipline. And that's when I decided, I was like, I have to become a teacher so that I can be that disciplinary person. By being a teacher, I can also be disciplined because I need to prove by example, right? I need to lead by example, and I can give other women an opportunity to actually go through this face yoga journey without having to struggle like me. From a holistic perspective, it only made sense for me, right? I mean, yes, visually, I wanted my pigmentations to be gone, my eye bags, etc. There were many things that I wanted to do. That's one thing, right? I wanted to make it a habit. I wanted other women to actually get that result that I was seeing on Facebook, scrolling through face yoga method, right? So those were kind of the pillars. And so the decision for me was not, am I going to make a lot of money? It was more of, okay, how am I going to be able to transform myself and how am I going to be able to transform other people? And everything else kind of flowed. So the decision was very easy to make because I knew exactly what I wanted. And I think the benefits of what I wanted would reap kind of the investment in time, in terms of time as well as money. And what I loved about TCC for me, especially, was that and this is a testament to Fumiko and the entire team within Face Yoga Method, is in that public environment, it is very, very apparent that Fumiko trickles down this corporate culture or even the community culture within TCC, as well as her Face Yoga Method community, of inclusiveness and acceptance. that warm feeling of everybody wants to belong, right? That's at the end of the day, we all want to feel significant and we want to belong. And she creates this beautiful environment for that. And going back to my self development internally, those are the things that I really wanted to develop and build upon outside of my family. People, here's your core family, but outside of that, I really didn't have that skill set. And I think that environment really helped nurture my ability to do that. So it might be different for many women, you talk to, because a lot of women are very nurturing and they're always empathetic and very soft-skilled. I was the direct opposite. And so that was my biggest takeaway in terms of what Fumiko has provided me, is that inclusive, nurturing environment. The community that you create as a teacher is unexpected. Like now, 4 years down the line, I'm so blessed to meet people. And like I said, people want significance. I want significance too. I want to make an impact on somebody's life, right? And I actually had an email coming out to me for a person who I teach privately. And she's like, she sent me a thank you letter. She commented saying, "You're making a difference in me more than you know," parentheses, "and I'm sure there are more women out there." I'm like, really? I'm making a difference for you? Because like visually, we're still working on her transformation. But I guess, and it's so inspiring she's inspiring me. I mean, she's saying she's inspired by me, but her comments inspire me because I realize that this teeny tiny me is able to make a difference in a person. And for me, it's not about making a difference for a huge audience. Like I'm an introvert. I don't want to be in front of like millions of people. I'd rather be with like one-on-one and create that relationship. So it was really hard. If there's ever a time machine, right? And I can go back to my 18-year self and reflect to who I am right now. I think that my 18-year self would be prouder of who I have become now than the person that I was before I retired. I was looking for something where I could actually see my kids in the morning, right? That's like a big thing for me. Before, I never saw my kids in the morning because I'd already be in the office when my kids woke up, which meant my husband had to take a video of them opening up their Santa Claus presents. I mean, that's how bad it was, right? Or I would, like, my kid would have a field trip. So I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to make them, I'm Japanese. So we make these really cute Japanese bentos with like Pikachu stuff and stuff. It takes hours, by the way. But anyway, so I would make it, but I could never see him look at it and look surprised. So my husband would actually have to take that, pictures or videos of him, and he would send it while I was working. So those are the things that I think I missed. And when I first retired, I mean, my kids are teenagers now, so there's no moments anymore. But like now, I mean, when I first retired and started face yoga, there were those moments. I distinctly remember where I could like wake up in the morning, wake up my kids and give them a hug. And they probably don't remember it, but I remember it vividly. I was like, oh my God, I am so glad, because it's priceless and you can't turn back time. That freedom to work, the freedom to say when I want to work is great. I can work when I travel too, right? I can be traveling and doing a class on Zoom. That's amazing. So definitely, I love this freedom right now. Like I said, superficially, it totally works. It may not work like 100%, but honestly, even surgery will not pacify your concerns 100% anyway, right? So if you have a natural method that takes you along 80%, then you're good. It's an experience. I think in everyone's life, like, we accumulate experiences and that's who we become. And TCC, it will be another experience, whether or not, you become a teacher or you want to deepen your knowledge, whatever it is an experience. And the more experience you have in life, the fuller you become, right? I think. So I don't want to press a person saying you should do TCC because it's great. My values are different from yours. So your why is going to be different from mine. And I honestly think that if your why is valuable enough for you, you should definitely join. There's no reason not to. It's only 5 months. You do have to study a little bit, but you're going to get tons of information. And moreover, for those of you who are, for people who actually want to have a transformation visually, you're totally going to get that in TCC. Like all these people who show before and afters before their TCC and after their TCC, it's very easy to detect the transformation because you're put in that position where you have to make it a habit, right? And you're learning so many things. So you try it on your face and you start seeing differences. So, I mean, you may start wanting to teach. That's great. Then you have to join, right? There's no other way. That's like a no-brainer. You have to teach, swipe, go. You just come in. Another reason could be, I want to deepen the information. Are you going to get deep information? Of course, because you're going to get Fumiko's valuable, deep learning from her directly, right? On Zoom, you're going to get that. So of course you have to join. I think those people who are slightly iffy is because they're not sure if they want to make that career change, whatever. I think, and I see so many TCC graduates doing it, and they are the smartest people in the world, my view, is that they have their career, they go through the course and they start slowly. They still teach immediately, right? But it's not like they're doing 20 classes a week. They're just doing 1 or 2 classes just to prepare themselves. TCC, once you get in, we do become a family of some sort. I mean, assuming that people actually participate in the Facebooks, etc., we do become a very tight community. So for anybody who is considering TCC, don't consider it just as a course, but it does become very, a personal and emotional ride. I have had so many assessments with people where, when I tell them, yeah, they've been certified, like there's just a burst of joy, not because, of course, yes, because they've been certified, but because of the journey and all the things that they learn, all the things that the emotional side of things is just so big, right? We've had numerous people literally crying of joy, which is like so beautiful. I just think it's so amazing. Again, these things are priceless. So I think it's totally worth it.